Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. Let's just jump right in today because we are deconstructing a truly fascinating text. It's this wild blend of deep spiritual contemplation mapped onto highly structured, almost analytical thought. So we're going to unpack this piece layer by layer and figure out exactly how the author constructs her worldview. Just listen to the rhythm of these opening lines for a second. Gratitude has a melody. Faith is a verb. Gratitude is a key. Wow, right? It literally pulls you right in. In this explainer, we're going to decode these absolutely striking metaphors, and more importantly, we're going to get inside the fascinating mind of the woman who actually wrote them. We'll see how her unique professional background totally shapes her poetic expression. Section 1, The Mind of Oluyomi Ola David. So to really wrap our heads around this abstract poetry, we've got to understand the reality of who the author is, because you absolutely cannot separate her art from her professional identity. What's super crucial to notice here is the sheer breadth of her personal brand. She isn't just sitting around writing poetry. Her platform is totally dedicated to technical insights, opinion articles, policy briefs, polls, and what she terms contemplations. So right off the bat, that's our first clue. We're dealing with a mind that values hard data and structure just as much as philosophical reflection. And her biography completely backs this up and shapes her entire artistic worldview. She's a Nigerian who proudly says she loves people, but look at her professional focus. She is deeply embedded in global development and transformation. She thrives on generating solutions, influencing policy and strategy, and providing absolute clarity. Once you realize that, it clicks. Her poetry isn't just about fleeting feelings. It's written by a woman whose actual daily life revolves around solving massive, complex, real-world problems. Section 2. Gratitude has a melody. Let's shift our focus to the poem itself, Grateful Fragrance, and see how she weaves the strategic and the spiritual sides of her identity together. Notice the structure of these lines. Faith is a blessing, gratitude has a maker. Faith is a subject, gratitude is a judge. Let those pairings sink in for a second. She immediately establishes this continuous, rhythmic duality between faith and gratitude. It's honestly like a balanced equation or a strategic framework where she's constantly weighing one concept against the other. Section 3, Faith, the structural engine. If we isolate just one half of her equation, faith, we can see from her exact word choices that she definitely doesn't view faith as some passive feeling or quiet belief. It's the active structural engine of her life. This visually illustrates that active mindset perfectly. On the left, we have faith is a verb. It's an action word, right? It requires doing. And on the right, gratitude is a key. She literally sees faith as the momentum, the action, while gratitude is the tool or the key that unlocks the door. Faith does the actual work, gratitude provides the access. And here is where she brings her professional world directly into her poetry. Faith is a policy compared to gratitude is a city. Remember, she is a strategist who literally influences policy. So here, she's defining faith as a set of rules, a governing policy that brings order to the massive, sprawling, lived-in city of gratitude. She's mapping spiritual concepts using civic, governmental terminology. It's brilliant. The key takeaway here is how consistently she frames these roles. Faith is a builder, again, an active constructor making something tangible. Meanwhile, gratitude is a principle. That represents an overarching authority, a standard, or a core value. So faith is on the ground doing all the heavy lifting, while gratitude is up top overseeing the whole operation. Section 4, Gratitude, the experiential space. Okay, so we know how she views faith. Now let's look at how she uses gratitude to represent the environment, the boundary, or the sensation that this active faith operates inside of. If we actually map out her metaphors, some really fascinating themes pop up. Under action, we've got words like verb, drummer, dancer, builder. These are mostly tied to faith. Under sensation, we have fragrance and melody, tied to gratitude. And under governance, it's policy, judge, and principle. Visualizing the data like this makes it so clear. She links faith to action and governance, and gratitude to sensation and environment. This specific line perfectly captures that whole dynamic. Faith is a dancer. Gratitude has a space. Think about that visually for a second. She sees faith as moving, working, expressing itself, but it can literally only do that within the specific room or space that gratitude provides. Without the space of gratitude, the dancer of faith has absolutely nowhere to perform. We see a super similar relationship here. Faith is a student, gratitude has a boundary. She views faith as this continuous learning process, right? A student that's always seeking and growing. But it's not reckless. That growth operates safely within the established limits and structural boundaries that gratitude provides. Now look at this fascinating sequence. Faith is a project. Gratitude is a soldier. Faith is a shield. I really want to highlight her use of this highly structured, almost defensive terminology. She's treating deeply spiritual concepts with the absolute rigor of a global development strategist. A project needs a plan, a soldier needs discipline, a shield offers protection. She approaches her own inner life with the exact same serious strategic framework that she applies to global transformation.
Section 5, The Wheel Within.
So we've seen this incredibly structured, strategic approach she takes to faith and gratitude. But what does it all build to? What's the foundation? Well, based on her biography, behind every bit of her policy work, her strategic planning, and this beautiful poetry, she is entirely driven by a singular belief: a Father God who owns and rules the universe. This is the absolute central driving force that anchors every single concept we've talked about today. And she sums up that belief with this incredibly powerful final line from her bio: "He is the wheel within my wheels." She views this divine presence as the ultimate structural engine. It's the invisible force driving all her outward actions, her policy decisions, and her profound expressions of gratitude. It's literally the core mechanism making the entire machine run. So as we wrap up today's explainer, I really want to turn this over to you. Looking at Oluyomi Oladevid's incredible framework, ask yourself, how do faith and gratitude operate as structures and spaces in your own life? Are they verbs and keys for you? Are they policies and cities? Take her analytical framework and apply it to your own worldview. Seriously, it's a game changer. Thanks so much for joining me to deconstruct these amazing concepts today. Keep analyzing, keep learning, and I'll catch you on the next explainer.